Next we got when Cristiano Ronaldo was known as CR9. Nah, y'all been loving these Ronaldo videos. If you want more Ronaldo's videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's just have it to
In his younger days for Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo was one of the most lethal wingers the game had ever seen. Because when you think of him and his dribbling at its absolute peak, I think many of you will remember the way he danced and showed that insane flair, just ripping throughout the entire Premier League. And without a doubt, it was also the pinnacle of his pace and agility. But we all know that as Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid and matured throughout his career, he would switch his playing style completely to that of an absolutely lethal goal scorer and finisher, becoming the deadliest goal scorer in the world, with just an insane amount of records, even going as much as scoring over 50 goals a season for 6 consecutive seasons. And you can debate on which was version of Cristiano Ronaldo, but if there's one thing I'm certain about, it's that the best combination of both a Manchester United and Real Madrid Cristiano Ronaldo was no other than the single year throughout the 2009-10 season, in which CR7 was briefly known as CR9. Because in the summer of 2008, after winning the Premier League and Champions League titles, just being one FA Cup shy of winning the treble, while also scoring 42 goals and providing 8 assists in 49 matches, a total of 50 goal contributions in 49 matches, Cristiano Ronaldo would put
So he literally scored every game? He literally averaged a score every game, and we already know that, 42 goals, never mind. So it wasn't every game, but damn near. We already know that scoring in football in general is hard. You know what I mean? So especially if you're averaging, in some games he might have scored three times, 3 goals. And in some games he might have scored 1. You know what I mean? But he still scored at the end of the day. That's how good he is. That's crazy.
Of 50 goal contributions in 49 matches, Cristiano Ronaldo would put his body through a lot. So much so that he inevitably had to undergo ankle surgery, as 2 bits of cartilage in his ankle had become unattached due to the sheer physical strain he put in his body. After all, like I said, it was the peak where we saw Cristiano Ronaldo at his most agile and skillful. All that speed and flashy dribbling demands a lot out of the body, especially to his knees and ankles. And I know what some of you are thinking. Sure, the fastest Cristiano Ronaldo was ever recorded was when he played for Portugal in the 2018 World Cup, maxing out at 40 kilometers an hour.
That's another thing. Yeah, I forgot. Ronaldo is fast. I literally forgot about that. See, he don't look as fast. I mean, he dribbles fast. I would say that. He definitely dribbles fast. But when you see him actually sprinting, I'm like, yo, Ronaldo actually fast. Like, I did not know that. I literally did not know.
Played for Portugal in the 2018
I'm glad I got this video right here.
Maxing out at 40 kilometers an hour at 33 years old. But you have to realize he was sprinting off the ball. And you can't convince me that before all those injuries, just because his speed wasn't tracked back then, that this version of Cristiano Ronaldo, before all those injuries,
he literally, him jumping right here reminds me of like a cheetah or some type of tiger. You know how they be running real fast on their 4 palms and then jump over some like real like what's the word? Just comfortable, like
just because of speed,
like he just know what's going on.
This
just
version of Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't.
They falling over each other. It's like a movie.
I mean, just watch the way he totally gaps these defenders back then, all while still dribbling the ball. It's clear to see that before his injuries, he was a complete speed demon. Heck, he was terrorizing the Premier League so badly, got up to the point where the only way to actually stop him was to dive bomb his ankles and hope that he lost the ball.
They literally.
But anyways, this would be the longest time that Cristiano Ronaldo would sit out due to injury/recovery for his entire career, a total nearing almost 12 weeks. And naturally, after such a procedure, you'd expect it would take some time to really recover. And well,
bro, please tell me all these players are getting red flags. Please tell me. Tell me they're getting red flags for this. They have
such a procedure,
he didn't even bro didn't even try. He didn't even try. Straight up just tried to kick him.
And naturally, after such a procedure, you'd expect it would take some time to really recover. And well, the stats would show. As in the 2008-2009 season, he would only score 26 goals and provide 12 assists. A total of 38 goal contributions in 50 matches, not nearly being as effective or explosive as he was during his previous Ballon d'Or winning season. And without their superstar at a true 100%, although Man United would win the Premier League, Community Shield, and Club World Cup, they would finish second in the UEFA Super Cup and, of course, lost out on the Champions League final. So in terms of value, after just having gone through major surgery and producing roughly 24% less goals, this was the quote-unquote cheapest that Cristiano Ronaldo would ever be on the market for over a decade. And so Manchester United would say goodbye to their Portuguese winger. Though relatively only a brief time with the club, he already forever solidified himself as a legend. So the fact that Real Madrid went all out, paying 94 million euros and breaking the current transfer record at the time, to get a player who just had major surgery and was seemingly struggling after a Ballon d'Or year, really shows you all you need to know about just how valuable the 24-year-old winger was. But Real Madrid were confident because what they concluded in their medical checkup was that Cristiano Ronaldo simply needed more time to fully recover and to get back into form. Because as he walked out of the tunnel in what would be the most attended presentation for any footballer in history, he would walk out not as CR7, but as CR9. And the simple reason as to why he didn't get to wear his iconic number 7 was due to the fact that another longtime Real Madrid and Spanish legend himself was still around and wearing it for the club, no other than Raul. But it wasn't just the change in number that made CR9 so special. It was because this was when he really began to change as a player. And this season specifically is where I believe we got to witness the best mix of not only the dribbling, speed, and flair of Manchester United Ronaldo, but also the goal scoring and finishing efficiency and lethality of a Real Madrid Cristiano Ronaldo. But of course, Cristiano Ronaldo as the new face of Madrid's Galacticos 2.0, at that point being the most expensive player in the world, playing for one of the most harshly critical clubs, had immense pressure to perform, even more so than the other big signings like Xabi Alonso and another former Ballon d'Or winner, Ricardo Kaká. But as soon as CR9 got onto the pitch, he instantly proved himself and cast away all the doubt, as CR9 became the first Real Madrid player to ever score in each of his first 4 league matches. Because then manager Manuel Pellegrini had different plans for Cristiano Ronaldo. He would start experimenting by letting CR9 play sort of like a striker, but at the same time still allowed him to play more deep and got him involved in build-up play. Because like we saw from his days at Manchester United, more than any other time in his career with Los Blancos, this was the most that Ronaldo would display his exceptional skills and dribbling, regularly taking on multiple defenders to create chances and carry the ball. Especially in the beginning of the season, Ronaldo's flair was at an all-time high for his time in Real Madrid. Ronaldo's free kicks at the time were also at their peak, as it would tie for the most free kick goals he would score in a single season with 7, including an absolute show he would put on in September 2009, where he would score his very first Champions League goals for the club, off of no other than netting 2 free kicks in a single match against FC Zurich. Sure, there have been many jokes about how Ronaldo's free kick technique has not aged as well, especially in his later 30s, but in his mid and late 20s, particularly.
Yo, what did I just watch?
Well,
what did I just watch? I was sitting here, I'm like, bro, why are they showing this clip? Like, what is this? I'm like, bro, so I didn't know people would just be standing right here. I was trying to like process everything as he was kicking.
There have been many
jokes
jokes
to see him get kicked in the head.
Technique has
What
not
the?
aged as well, especially in his later 30s.
I mean, honestly though, if you really think about it, Ronaldo really, that's how you know everything he do is goated. Everything he do. You mean to tell me he missed a whole free kick, but still wound up hitting a miraculous target? That's hard to hitting him in the perfectly in the head from that far, and people in the way. That's still sweet. Like, that's not just.
But
you know what I mean?
Ronaldo's free kick technique has not aged as well, especially in his later 30s. But in his mid and late 20s, particularly including this CR9 season as well, was some of the most accurate and consistent free kick taking in his career. And just 15 days later, in another Champions League match, only his second ever for the club, he'd go on to dominate French side Marseille, scoring yet another brace, totaling 4 goals in the tournament in just 2 matches thus far. And don't forget the pace. Sure, Cristiano would still maintain pace as he got older in Real Madrid as well. But gradually his movement would be mostly off ball. However, in his earlier years, particularly in this season, his agility and pace, although not as amazing as it was before his surgery, was still some of the most explosive and entertaining throughout any of his time at Real Madrid, because Ronaldo was basically in one of the most physically fit forms he's ever been in. I can't stress enough of how it was truly the perfect mix of the agile and flashy winger he was in his younger United days, only with the added strength.
Bro, and as I'm really like sitting here looking at it, like, I just know whoever plays football, especially if you're at the higher levels, like, they have to have the best stamina of all time. I could literally never, ever be running full sprint down. You know how big a football field is? Running full sprint down there, then running full sprint back, then have to slow your body down to kick a crazy goal. It's like, how are they doing this?
Trying to save
how are they doing
and
this?
Dribbles, all while scoring goals at a much more efficient rate.
And you gotta dodge defenders.
In October 2009, Ronaldo would suffer an ankle injury during international duty with Portugal that would sideline him for nearly 2 months, missing a total of 12 matches for both club and country. A very significant setback, especially for Real Madrid, as they would lose 2-3 to AC Milan in the Champions League and fail to secure what would have been an easy 3 points to clubs like Sporting Gijón without their top scorer, CR9. But fast forward to after recovering from the injury, CR9 would continue where he left off, going on to score a total of 6 goals in just 5 Champions League matches. And back in La Liga, Ronaldo would still play with that flair and dribbling aggressiveness. However, this is when he really started to think about shifting his playing style to try to limit his injuries and preserve his longevity while maintaining efficiency as much as possible. And you can't really blame the guy, as this was the second most injured season he'd ever have in his career. A total of 7 weeks on the sidelines. Then came the new year in 2010, where throughout the second half of the season, CR9 would continue to maintain his goal scoring. And it was getting clear that his ability to find the back of the net was only getting better, as at the time, this was the most efficient season that Cristiano Ronaldo had ever had in his career thus far. Just the most entertaining style of play with dazzling flair combined with the lethal goal scoring. And if the footage you're watching wasn't enough to remind you that Ronaldo did indeed move like this on a game-to-game basis, I don't know what will. And although Lionel Messi would lead the league in scoring, CR9 was more efficient, scoring a total of 33 goals and providing 10 assists, a total of 43 goal contributions in 37 weeks in his first season with Real Madrid, as they would lose the league title by just 3 points, having the most points ever in a second place finish for La Liga. And if it weren't for those injuries, we would have definitely had the chance to see more of that flair and dribbling with Cristiano Ronaldo in a Real Madrid jersey. But perhaps as sad as it was to see him progressively be less aggressive with his dribbles and handling, as he was transitioning to a newer role, it did showcase Ronaldo's ability to adapt and evolve his game. His willingness to transition from a flashy winger to a prolific goal scorer in the end did work out best for his career. Sure, he would still dribble in the next few years to come, especially in one-on-ones, but he never was truly as aggressive or flashy, willing to continuously take on multiple defenders in a Madrid shirt as he was as CR9.
See, I think we've seen this in other videos. So he was, at one point in time, he was really good at just flashiness, you know, doing the craziest dribbles of all time. You've never seen this before. You know, it's kind of like you, if you outside playing with a kid, street football, and somebody just super flashy, you know, but you know, in a real game, this won't really work. You know, even though he was doing it in a real game, but it's not really contributing to your team. If you're not scoring, or if you're not setting up plays for your other teammates to score, you know what I mean, then you're just wasting time, honestly. That's what you're doing, just wasting time. Yeah, it looks sweet, but you're wasting time. So they had to transform him then to now being a full, complete player. Worried about scoring as much instead of highlights. You know, because he was just trying, it's like almost he was just going for highlights. You know what I mean?
And unfortunately, his Real Madrid squad back then, overall, was probably the weakest of any year he's been in Madrid. As the very following season, the club would offload older and out-of-form players like Guti, Rafael van der Vaart, and Raul, giving space for Cristiano Ronaldo to once again wear number 7. But it really does make you wonder, what if he never had those serious injuries? What if he was always able to play the same way as CR9 with those Champions League winning Madrid
And
side?
honestly, that's why you see everything always happens for a reason, bro. Because he getting them injuries, it low-key turned him into the person he was. Or like I say, the person that he is today. It kind of, because he had to change, really. He had to change.
But it really does make you wonder, what if he never had those serious injuries? What if he was always able to play the same way as CR9 with those Champions League winning Madrid sides, maintaining that insane goal-scoring efficiency, but still having that prime speed, agility, and dribbling? Well, that at least definitely.
Hey, now let me know, y'all, if you want more Raymar football. You know what I mean? Go subscribe too, by the way. If y'all want more Raymar football, let me know in the comments. I love y'all. Yeah.